Right now, at 6, a deadly confrontation with police.
He went after the deputy with the knife after being told to stop multiple times, and the cop just shot him.
Plus, powerful words from a daughter.
When I was 8 months old, someone robbed me of getting to have a life with my mom.
As her father is sentenced nearly 40 years after killing her mother. Then,
it's a shock. It's one big shock.
An ODOT worker says goodbye to her job as state lawmakers walk away without a funding fix.
And the big change that just went into effect that should make airport security a little less painful.
Oh, sweet. That's great news.
New at 6, we're hearing from a young witness who watched a Yamhill County Sheriff's deputy shoot and kill a stabbing suspect authorities say was armed with a knife. Thanks for joining us. I'm David Molko.
And I'm Christine Pitawanich. A warning, some of the details are disturbing. Libby Dowsett is at the Valley's Edge RV Park in Sheridan, where witnesses described the chaos.
Well, this all unfolded just before 7 o'clock last night. Police say residents got into a confrontation, and then one of them ran off and stabbed 2 other people at the park. People around here say it was a traumatic night for a lot of families.
For a lot of us elderly people around here, it was scary. We heard the shots, but we didn't know where it came from. At first, we thought they were fireworks.
Neighbors at Valley's Edge RV Park say it was chaos.
A guy without a shirt on was running this way, chasing these other people.
Police say an altercation between a man and some neighbors started the chain of events. Peggy Hughes heard the altercation and saw the man running across the park right toward her 2 roommates sitting outside their RV. What'd you see out the kitchen window?
A bald guy doing this. That's much I can say. Except it hurt to see them like that.
Minutes later, witnesses say a Yamhill County Sheriff's deputy arrived. 10-year-old Daniel, who spoke to us with his family, says he witnessed the deputy shoot the man who stabbed the couple.
The cop got out of his car and put out his gun and said, "Don't move," but the guy kept moving, so the officer shot him like 3 times.
Everybody's pretty worried. I mean, everybody I talked to last night, especially the people here, I mean, they have two toddlers and a 2-month-old.
I saw the 2 victims being taken to the ambulance, and they didn't rush, so I assumed they were stable.
And even some concern for the man shot by the deputy.
I couldn't sleep because of it. And I went over there and I said a prayer for him.
John Birchfeld says he didn't know those involved, but it's affected him just the same.
You know, when you live in a place like this where it's transient, you don't make it a habit to make friends with your neighbors.
Newburgh-Dundee Police and the Major Crimes Team from Yamhill County are still investigating the details of this case. They hope to review video and get more information released in the near future. Libby Dowsett, KGW News.
In Washington County, a nearly 40-year-old cold case came to a close after a judge sentenced Robert Atrops to life in prison for murdering his estranged wife.
And for the first time, we're hearing from his daughter, who spoke in court before that sentencing. Joe Ranieri has details from Hillsborough.
It was an emotional day in court for both sides of the family. Now, a judge sentenced Robert Atrops, who's 71 years old now, to life in prison with the possibility of parole after 25 years. Earlier today, his daughter spoke before sentencing, calling her dad her rock and safe place over the years.
During the trial this past spring, the state said that Robert Atrops never showed any emotion or remorse for the death of his estranged wife, Deborah, back in 1988. But that changed on Tuesday, with the 71-year-old breaking down during his sentencing hearing when his daughter, Rayana Stevens, spoke.
When I was 8 months old, someone robbed me of getting to have a life with my mom. There to support my every milestone. My first birthday, kindergarten graduation, 8th grade promotion, high school graduation, my wedding.
Back on November 29, 1988, Deborah was supposed to have picked up Rayana from Robert Atrops' house, but never showed. Her body was found in the trunk of an abandoned car at a remote Beaverton construction site. The now mother of 3 said her dad filled the void of losing her mom.
He was the one in the crowd when I looked out nervously from the volleyball court. He was the one holding my hand when I felt lost. He became both parents.
Senior Deputy District Attorney Allison Brown said this is something the DA's office has been working on for 2 years and got a breakthrough with new DNA evidence.
And that's what is just, it's so tragic. The victim died at 30. She didn't have the chance to live her life.
Brown said the sentence Atrops received is fair considering he was able to live his life. He remarried and was able to enjoy time with his family and friends.
It's difficult for family members to really kind of understand who it is behind that facade.
The defense was fighting for a lighter sentence. They were hoping for something around a lifetime in prison with the possibility of parole after 10 years. Obviously, that didn't happen, but they already have plans to appeal this case. Outside the Washington County Courthouse, Joe Ranieri, KGW News.
Nearly 4 decades in the making. All right, let's get to your headlines now. The man accused in a deadly attack on Hayden Island has appeared in court. 68-year-old Timothy Hudson has pleaded not guilty to killing Richard Bauer, seen in this photo, who authorities say died of blunt force trauma. Court documents show Hudson told investigators it all stemmed from a drunken brawl. He's also accused of attacking Bauer's girlfriend and her dog. Hudson is due back in court next month.
The person stabbed in what appears to be a random daytime assault in the Montevilla neighborhood spoke today at his alleged attacker's arraignment. Investigators say 24-year-old Michael Cash stabbed Russell Archer near Southeast 91st and Stark back on June 26th. The attack was caught on surveillance video you see here. In court today, Archer reiterated he did not know his alleged attacker.
He stabbed me. And there was no robbing, no altercation, no communication. I've never seen this man before in my life. He ran up behind me and stabbed me and said, "Don't tell anyone."
Cash pleaded not guilty to charges that include assault, and he will remain in jail at least for now.
And this evening, we are hearing from one of the 500 ODOT employees who just found out they're being laid off. ODOT dealing, of course, with the largest single layoff in state history after lawmakers failed to come up with a major funding plan this past session. Those who got notices yesterday lose their jobs at the end of the month, and up to 200 more could be laid off early next year. We spoke with a woman losing her part-time job, along with much of a crew in Wheeler County.
Okay, I'm going to be fine, but and I know the guys will be fine. It's just, it's a shock. It's one big shock.
Governor Tina Kotek calling the cuts, which could impact everything from road maintenance to snow removal, quote, an emergency, but so far has not called a special session. Matt?
All right, David, thank you very much. A beautiful day today. If you can stand 90 degrees, because that's what we made it up to in Portland right now out at the Reserve Golf Course. 88 degrees, so really a beautiful day. Now that the sun angle is dropping, temperatures this evening will be really quite pleasant, but you'll notice a breeze kicking in, and that's delivering cooler marine air from the coast into the western valleys. Today we hit 90, the average is 80. Look what we did last year, set a record at 102 on this date, and we're not going to be going there anytime soon, which is good. In fact, our average number of 90-degree days in a year in Portland is 15. So far, we've had 6, roughly on schedule for this time of the year. Last year, though, we ended up with 28, which was good enough for the 4th highest total of 90-degree days in any given year in Portland. So hopefully we'll stay well below that this time around. But the outlook from July through September is for above average weather here in the western United States, including most of Oregon, except maybe the Oregon coast. What about rainfall? Below average is likely for the next couple of months. That's really not that unusual and not necessarily even that significant because we don't get a lot of rain July, August, and September anyway. But this all adds up to an increased wildland fire potential throughout the west, centered on Oregon and Washington and Northern California for July. The map for August looks much the same, and even into September. So we'll be watching the radar carefully. We've had some thunderstorms today, a lot of lightning. We'll check in on that scene in a bit, guys. Back to you.
Appreciate the update. Thank you, Matt.
I think it'll make everything a lot easier and smoother, especially for people who are wearing lace-up shoes.
Okay, the debate about whether to wear flip-flops to the airport and bring an extra pair of socks. Oh, we're blinking. 876 is starting today. The TSA will no longer require passengers, including those in the general screening lanes, to remove their shoes before security. I got distracted by the fancy graphic there.
I know, it's okay. We're back on it. Devin Haskins live at PDX for us. Devin, you spoke with passengers today, so how do they feel about this big change?
Oh, they're excited. They no longer have to take off their shoes while going through security at airports, not only just here at PDX, but also starting now nationwide. That announcement coming via the Secretary of the Homeland Security announcing an end to basically a almost 20-year rule. Today at PDX, we saw multiple people walking through security with their shoes still on. And from afar, you could also hear TSA agents tell passengers that the shoes needed to stay put. It's a change to a rule that's been in place since 2006, when TSA said intelligence pointed to a continuing threat of explosives hidden in shoes. The Secretary of Homeland Security says TSA technology has improved since then, and removing your shoes is no longer necessary. Talking with passengers, they said it was among the more annoying parts of going through security, and they don't have any safety concerns going forward.
I'm not a very fearful person, and I have a certain level of acceptance, like you can't prevent everything, and there just are risks. There's a lot of things that could happen in a plane that aren't going to be secured by taking off our shoes or walking through a screening device, so you have to have a certain amount of surrender, I think, around just the unpredictability of life.
Before the announcement was made, I also spoke with a couple passengers that flew in from Dallas and another from Nashville. All three tell me that they didn't have to take off their shoes at all. I talked to a couple TSA agents here before that announcement again this afternoon, and they said that this program started Monday, and then there was a couple of training days before that. Now, the Secretary of Department of Homeland Security also said there could be times when passengers do need to remove their shoes during the screening process, but that will be on a case-by-case basis. Back to you.
Well, hopefully it means no more bare feet on the floor at the airport. I always think, what is on that floor right there? I guess we got carpet, right?
Yeah.
Thanks, Devin.